Prepare to be captivated by the business story of the week, hosted by me, Shaheen Shan. Join us on a journey through the twists and turns of entrepreneurial triumphs and setbacks. Immerse yourself in the narrative and witness the magic that turns dreams into reality. This is Business Story of the Week.
And welcome back, folks. Welcome back to Business Story of the Week. My name is Joshua, your host, and today we have the creative guest for you, the creative media giant, so to speak. I am very excited to have him on. Len Gill created the largest entertainment-focused ad agency in the world, with offices in Toronto, London, New York, and Mexico. He has worked with the biggest artists in the world in all entertainment verticals. Len Gill's expertise in creating excitement and driving success in the entertainment industry has positioned him as a visionary leader in the advertising and media landscape. With a commitment to excellence and innovation, Len continues to revolutionize the way brands connect with their audiences across various platforms and industries. Len, that introduction doesn't do you justice. There is far more to be said in there, but thank you for coming on the show. How are you doing?
Joshua, you're very kind.
Len, this
What
is
an
quite
introduction. Thank you. I'm doing good. Thank you. Really well.
Thank you, Len, for being on here. And it's quite a remarkable success that you have done. You've achieved success in creating excitement and driving results for entertainment giants like the Rolling Stones and Mariah Carey. How do you approach translating that expertise and energy into successful campaigns for other clients in other industries?
Wow. Well, we believe that in our world, in the entertainment world, the band is the brand.
Wow. Wow.
That's a term I came up with years ago. And it actually makes a lot of sense.
Talk to us about that.
So the brand, being the brand, is just another version of branding. And brands are out there. So we've taken the expertise that we've created and turned that into excitement. Because our brands, the bands, and call it bands or theater shows or movies, our brands bring excitement to the people. It lets people get lost in a world that is very, very difficult to get lost in.
Right.
So if you had to buy a can of kitty litter or go and see a Taylor Swift show, you're going to be much more excited to go see Taylor Swift than you are to buy kitty litter for your kitten.
Of course.
That's boring and it's not very exciting. And how do you make a brand like that exciting? You can't. But you can make a brand like we have exciting with all the different bells and whistles we bring to the table. The other thing we also work on is, because our brands are basically transaction oriented, depending where your audience is, we have to make sure that what we sell and what we promote also turns into a transaction, because we are in the business of generating sales for the various brands on an ongoing, immediate basis.
Right.
So that's a big difference, as opposed to building the brand and hoping it sits on a store shelf and somebody walks past it and says, gee, I need catty litter, I better go get it. Or kitty litter, I better go get it. Ours is, you want to see Taylor Swift, you got to react right now. Otherwise, you won't have a chance.
For sure. And that is
Rolling Stones, Taylor Swift, pick whoever you want. It's that. So we create the urgency, we create the excitement, and we try and bring it across all the different verticals within the entertainment industry. and in other areas as well, try and translate that same urgency and excitement that other people just aren't able to bring to those brands.
Wow, Len, that really speaks to a lot. The way you said it just now speaks to a lot of your experience and the vastness of your experience in this type of industry. We have a few things in here that is just lists your accolades, and one of them is like the launch of Cadence Impressions. It marks a significant step in embracing digital media. How do you see the digital landscape evolving when it came to this, and how were you able to embrace this? I know you've been in the industry for a very long time, and you must have experienced that transition. How do you manage that?
We have always realized and understood and accepted the importance of digital advertising, and we've
Mm-hmm.
partnered with different digital ad agencies
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
around the world.
Mm-hmm.
We decided that in order to give ourselves a better selling platform
Mm-hmm.
and give our clients a better experience by having
Mm-hmm.
us look after the entire media journey for them,
Mm-hmm.
we decided to open Cadence as an addition to what our traditional advertising was
Wow.
and is. So we're able to offer a full 360 service in
Of
both
course.
traditional and digital advertising.
Of
We
course.
took a long time to get here because we had to find the right people to
Mm-hmm.
run it. It's very
Mm-hmm.
difficult to find the right people to run these different verticals, especially in the digital advertising world. I
Mm-hmm.
now have a team working in Cadence that is absolutely second to none, and we will
Wow.
go up against everybody and anybody.
Mm-hmm.
But it took us a long time to get here where I can actually proudly and unabashedly say so.
Wow. And that speaks a lot to especially how you talked about the kitty litter and Taylor Swift analogy, because you have seen everything from the traditional media to the digital media and its transition. Could you share in this vast experience of yours any pivotal moments or experience in your journey building the largest entertainment focused ad agency? How did this experience shape your approach to leadership and innovation, really? How do you stay ahead of trends and make sure that your campaigns are impactful?
I have three words by which we govern our lives in the
Wow.
marketing world:
Please.
best, first, and only. We call them BFOs.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
In order for a campaign to be the best, it has to
mm-hmm,
be the best.
mm-hmm,
We have to be the first ones out there with that idea, and we have to be the only ones out there with that idea.
mm-hmm.
And we find that it will get stolen and cheated from us. And the best form of flattery is what's it? The best form of stealing is flattery.
Yes, and the best form
Is
of
stealing. Well,
mhm,
we hope that we have those BFOs
mhm, mhm.
that people steal, and then we have
Right.
to keep thinking of new ones.
Mhm, mhm. The
So
the
we constantly talk in
mhm.
degrees of BFOs.
Wow, that is
I have a
very
big
interesting.
BFO, I have a small BFO, I have a little
Wow.
BFO, I have a
Wow.
half a BFO,
Oh, that's so cool.
and we constantly are using that as our benchmark against
Hmm.
which all our marketing ideas are evaluated before
Beautiful.
we take them to a client.
Hmm. But now really it's just BFO. Best, first,
First
and
and only.
only. Beautiful. And like you said, imitation is the best form of flattery,
That's it. I
right?
couldn't think of the
That's
words.
it.
Thank you.
That's it. There you
Imitation is
go.
the best form of flattery. Right.
And if
I
you do
said
your
stealing.
B
I said stealing. It's like a different form of imitation.
It is, but it's still kind of the same. You're borrowing that creativity because it's just so good. And if you do the BFO good and people are imitating you, then that means you're doing it right and you are doing it in a rapidly
And we're
changing media landscape.
constantly are
Constantly.
looking for for creating BFOs to break through and do different things.
This is a very interesting concept, Len. How I'm very interested in the BFO because you said best person only. What are the strategies that you employ? Because best first and only first to do this, but it has to be the absolute best. What are the metrics that you put
I'll
in
give you
there?
an example.
Please,
I'll give you an
please,
example.
please.
We look after a brewery in Canada called Mill Street. It's a large
Right.
independent craft brewery, which was bought by Labatt's, which is owned by I think it's InBev, and
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
we are constantly looking for ways to break through and do stuff with them that sort of appeals to the consumer. There's a big rock radio station in Toronto, Canada called Q107.
mm-hmm.
We have created a Q slash Mill Street branded beer
Okay.
that nobody's ever done. So they are going to have a
Wow.
beer that is going to be promoted by the radio station,
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
sold in the Mill Street brew pubs,
Mm-hmm.
but it'll be Q107 branded, and the Q107 audience is having a decision-making process of whether it's an IPA or a hop or a haze beer and a haze IPA, and they're very careful about involving the audience.
Right.
This is a BFO. Nobody's ever done this before. I promise
Wow.
you, within 6 months of us launching this, there will be other breweries and other radio stations that will start taking this on. And we have to move on. We've got to find the next BFO.
Wow. Of course. Are you talking about like this is just about to launch, Len,
It's launching. We
as we speak?
June. They told me today, June 5 or 12. Like now.
Wow, Len, this is just like you. I thought you were going to give me an example from way back. You're actually giving an
Yeah,
example
yeah. We're
right
creating
now,
BFOs every day. We
currently,
do this
every
all the
day.
time.
That's very remarkable. It really shows why you are the best at what you do, and it speaks to the team that you have at Cadence and all the other teams that you've had, even with your traditional strategies. Len, how do you keep up? How do you always come up with these BFOs?
I don't know. That's a
It just
tough
comes
question.
naturally. It just comes naturally.
No, we sit there and we actually work. We say,
Hmm.
we look at people come with ideas. We have brainstorming sessions
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
we evaluate them against those three words.
Wow.
Is this
Wow.
really the best thing we can do?
Hmm. Hmm.
Starts with, is it the best? Is it the best idea we have?
This is a
What can we do
first.
better? How can we stretch ourselves and
Right.
make it even better?
Fantastic. Fantastic. And speaks of the longevity and the success of you and in this industry in a rapidly changing media landscape. How do you maintain a balance between traditional advertising strategies that you've done before and to embracing these new ideas and approaches and ensuring that there's a continued success? I imagine this involves a team, but how do you balance that?
Well, we believe that a traditional campaign in today's world on its own
Hmm.
doesn't work as effectively as a combined campaign of traditional and digital media working, so they're moving from the top funnel down and from the bottom funnel up, and they're
Hmm.
meeting somewhere in the middle. And we think that, and we know that, we know it's the success is when you marry the two campaigns and the two strategies together,
Right.
you get the best results.
Wow. Of course. Of course.
And we've proven that time and time and time again. So we don't say exclusively traditional and we don't say
Hmm.
exclusively digital.
Hmm.
We marry the traditional and the digital. And a lot of the ideas that people have that traditional media is no longer viable and it doesn't work and they've thrown it out, baby out of the window with the bathwater,
Hmm.
that's nonsense.
Hmm.
You need the radio, the television, and the out of home to support what you're doing on a digital basis. so that everything comes together to generate the sales you're looking for.
Covering all grounds, covering every aspect of advertising, old and new, because that is why you guys are the best. Len, your experience in founding and leading, I'm going to talk about Echo Advertising this time. You founded and you led Advertising, which became the largest independently owned ad agency in Canada, a global entertainment specialist. It is incredibly impressive. What were some of the philosophies that contributed to the success in your tenure as chairman and CEO, and how do you bring that to your continued success today?
Well, I always wanted to be in the entertainment business.
Mm-hmm.
I was never good enough to be in the entertainment business as an entertainer.
Of course.
So I decided I have to be a worker bee.
Right, right.
And I was very lucky to hook myself up with and latch onto two very entrepreneurial promoters.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
And
mm-hmm,
through them, we did some breakthrough creative things. For example, in North America, we have a thing called Gold Card Events, which started off in Canada as a front of the line, American Express
mm-hmm,
front of the line. I
mm-hmm,
created that with
mm-hmm,
American Express.
mm-hmm.
And basically, the premise is that card members get access to events before general public. Today, it is a norm.
Yeah.
Everybody accepts it. They do
Incredible.
it in the Philippines where you live, because I have a
Mm-hmm,
company in the Philippines in
mm-hmm.
Manila, and
Manila.
we
Mm-hmm.
promote musicals there. We've just finished doing Hamilton. I don't know if you
You,
went to see it.
you promoted Hamilton in Manila. Wow, Len, thank you for
We,
coming and bringing it here.
we're doing right now as I talk to you, Miss Saigon,
Yes, Miss Saigon just recently. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
and we
mm-hmm.
just went on sale this week with Six, the big musical hit out of London.
Wow, wow.
Um, we play at the Soleil. Do you know the Soleil Casino
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yes,
in
yes, yes, yes.
Manila?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Right in Makati there. So
Beautiful. I went to both shows, Len. Thank you for bringing it
you
here. Thank you
did.
so
Okay.
much. Yes,
Well, I'm glad.
yes, fantastic. Is there any chance you're bringing back Hamilton?
No, it's impossible to. We could have extended it another 6 months, but it was on the road and it
Mhm,
was touring. So
mhm. So that was probably the first and last chance for many of us, but thank you, Len, for bringing that show on here. Len, it's very interesting. You said you've always wanted to be in the entertainment industry.
yeah, so I
Um,
decided to
go
get
ahead.
into the advertising part of it. I got
Mm-hmm,
into the
mm-hmm,
advertising side, and then one day I said, okay, I'm going to build a wheel
mm-hmm. Oh,
and I'm going to put us in the fulcrum, right in the
right,
center of the wheel. And each spoke is going to represent a different area in the entertainment industry.
right. Wow, wow,
And we're going to be the dominant player in the world in each spoke.
wow.
And that's what we ended up doing until we sold the company after 26 years to an English organization. And they ran it into the ground, sadly.
Sadly, oh, goodness gracious. But here you are still in the
So
industry.
I decided to start again. And I decided to start a little company just to keep me off the streets. And we started 26.2.
26 2.
The meaning of
26 2.
26.2
Please.
is that is the distance of a marathon,
Oh, okay.
26 miles, 200 yards.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
In marathon language, they call it 26.2.
Right, okay.
I ran enough marathons in my life to be able to wear that badge without any embarrassment.
Wow.
So one day I was
That's
running
very
and I
cool.
said, what can I call my new company?
Wow.
And that's why we called it 26.2. And we
Wow.
started off as basically a hobby, and now we're a serious little organization.
Len, can I just point out little in your standards, but the you do big things. You've done big things
Yeah,
in
we
this
do big things,
industry.
but we're a little company. That's good.
26-2, that's great because I wanted to ask that. I wanted to ask what the meaning of that question is, and it's a marathon. Len, that speaks to the marathon that you've run in this industry as well, and the continued success that you've had. You are, you've worked in iconic tours with with Barbara Streisand, with The Who, and Genesis. How do you approach crafting campaigns with their different audiences and maintain the essence or the same success of these legendary acts?
We discuss with the artists.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
We create ideas.
mm-hmm,
We present them to the artists,
mm-hmm,
to their managers.
mm-hmm,
We create ideas we think will work in the marketplace.
mm-hmm.
And they buy some, they don't buy some.
Right.
Back to the drawing board if they don't, until we come up
Mm-hmm.
with the campaigns that everybody's happy with. And then we
Fantastic.
monitor it. And that's why I kept
Mm-hmm,
saying earlier, it has to be a transaction-oriented approach and strategy,
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
because we've got to
mm-hmm,
know very quickly whether the project is selling or
mm-hmm.
not selling.
Fantastic. And that's why you come up with the BFO every day and you built this
Not every day. I
six
wish we did every day. We come up with a
every
lot
day.
of them. Yeah,
It takes a lot of work, but it also took a lot of work building that wheel, those spokes that you talked about.
that it did take. It took a lot of work. Yeah.
A lot of work being
And we had
successful in
offices in
all those.
London, we had offices in New York, offices
Wow,
in Mexico City, and that was all to feed off the mothership, which was in Toronto, Canada.
fantastic. Len, how many years has it been? How many years have you
Too
done
many.
this?
Next.
Too many.
Next question.
Next question. But Len, I wanted to transition that question into how do you see the future? What is this future aspirations of Len Gill? How do you see 26-2 growing into the same echo
I don't want to grow that
advertising?
big. I don't want to grow that big
Oh,
anymore. I mean,
why? How come?
why? Because at one
Mhm.
stage we had over 500 employees. And that's too many people to manage. It's too many
Mhm,
people to worry about, too
mhm,
much bureaucracy, too much
mhm,
politics.
mhm.
I don't want that. I want lean, mean, and nimble.
Wow, clean,
I want
mean, and
people to
nimble.
be able to turn on a dime.
Very interesting. Very
So I don't
cool.
want that big, and we don't have the overhead either.
Mm-hmm.
So we farm out a lot of stuff to my trusted partners and suppliers. And
Wow,
this way we keep our overhead down, and we have what I call now the pay as you play model.
wow. Pay as you play. Interesting. Wow. Len, your approach and your evolution, the way you've changed throughout your career and throughout your experiences in this industry has been quite remarkable. I mean, you've grown big, you've experienced the biggest success, but you've now dialed it down, toned it down, but still experiencing and doing the same big things. How do you see yourself in the future? How do you see 26 to being, like how do you envisioning it and what are the future aspirations of Len Gill?
Our aspirations are to continue to grow 26.2 moderately, but to really grow Cadence into a business division as big as 26.2, and
Wow.
between the two of them become a major force in the
Hmm.
media
Hmm.
landscape
Hmm.
across North America, certainly.
Len, with such a young age, what else would you like to do in life?
If I
I
told you how
mean,
old I am, you'd fall on your face.
you've done so much. You've done so much. Anything else that you would like to do in a personal level, something that you would like to achieve?
No, I think we're pretty good. We've done a lot of things. We've traveled the
Fantastic.
world. We've
Of
opened
course.
doors. We've met the right people. We just want to keep doing more of the same, making a difference to people's lives,
Wow.
trying to make a difference to their well-being,
Wow.
and giving them the opportunity to experience things like you did with Hamilton and Miss Saigon in Manila.
Fantastic. Len, that is quite the story you've given us, and this is quite the insight you've also provided on this episode today. Len, I would love to get this opportunity. Where can we find you? Where can we find the latest of 26.2? How can we stay updated with you? Are you on any of the socials?
Nope,
Let
I
us
don't
know.
work on any socials. I'm a very private person. You want to
Mhm.
contact me? You have my phone number.
I will stay in touch, Len.
You have my email.
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
I have a LinkedIn page.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
26.2 has a LinkedIn page.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I think even 26.2 has an Instagram page.
For
I
sure.
think so. I
Okay.
don't know.
Mm-hmm,
My
mm-hmm.
guys tell me we do.
And the website, of course. And I
Yeah.
invite our audience and listeners to check all of those out. Stay
And our
connected with
website
Len.
needs updating and it needs a refresh.
Okay. Well, let's connect with that on that, Len. Let's stay in touch. I do have your number with me. I have your email with me. To our audience and listeners out there, this has been a really good one. I love this because your insight into such rich insight into this industry is very, very interesting. It's quite remarkable. I hope our audience and listeners found the same entertainment as I did. Surely you are not a stranger to providing that entertainment, Len. Is there one last thing that you would like to share to our audience and listeners? Take us home.
Yeah, a line we always use in marathons.
Mm-hmm.
May the wind always be behind you.
Wow. 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 What a way to close this out. Len, thank you so much. And to
Thank
all
you.
our
And if you want
audience.
to go see Six, let me know.
Oh, please, Len. Len, I will take you up on that offer. To all our audience and listeners out there, thank you so much for coming on here, Len.
Thank you.
See you on the next one.
All right, so here's the thing. We try to get a little bit better every day, but we can't do it without you. So if you like the video, make sure to like and subscribe below. And if you have any comments, just leave them in the space under.